What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is entirely about finances, managing money, budgeting, all of that fun stuff. And I'm gonna walk you through basically our system of how we like to take care of all of that. So let's dive into today's video. First things first, I wanna say I was not aware that Dave Ramsey was such a controversial human being. It wasn't until I got on TikTok and realized that there are some serious haters out there who do not like him, and that's totally okay. I'm not against other people having different opinions about how to manage money. Personally, this is just what I was brought up in. It's worked really well for me. And then after Sammy and I got married, we were kind of like, okay, you have your method of how you manage your money and stuff. I have my method. Let's figure things out. So we borrowed my parents' DVD sets of the Financial Peace University collection, and we started watching all of that. We kind of had to figure out how to navigate that as a newlywed couple and decide what worked for us, what didn't. Over the years, we kind of incrementally included things from Financial Peace University. We always went back to it, but we really had to find our groove, and it took a couple years. And it wasn't until a year or two ago that we finally sat down and said, look, our way isn't working. We aren't reaching the goals that we are striving for. Why is that? So when we sat down and decided we needed help, we went back to Financial Peace University, decided to pay for their membership where we had access to everything. We were like, let's see how it goes. Let's do everything all over again. It seems like they've upgraded some stuff, and let's try and figure this out. So we signed up. We did, I think, 3 to 6 months, and we basically committed to following the process and trying to do things. Now, to be completely honest, we didn't see it through for the whole year, and we see the mistakes that we made. So, because this is a Getting My Life Together series, we decided we are going to commit, we're going to be all in, and this year we are going to not waver, not get prideful, not say that we know better. We are going to follow every step, and we are doing that so far. But I want to talk about everydollar. If you've never heard of everydollar, I've showed this in a few of my TikTok videos, and I've had people ask me, what the heck is this thing that you're using to track your finances? The thing that I like about the upgraded version is that you can link your bank accounts to the app, and then it will pull each transaction there, so that way it makes it nice and smooth and easy when it comes to managing all of your money, and basically like a current modern day version of balancing your checkbook. So this is how we keep track of everything. If you want to find out more about Financial Peace University and all that stuff, I will include the links in the description. You can take a look for yourself, but this video is gonna kind of just give a little bit of an overview. I don't wanna dive too much into it because I wanna talk about how we have implemented everything, not be a full-blown ad for Financial Peace University. So now let's dive a little bit more into what that looks like for our home specifically. Now, the one thing that I want to say is that Dave Ramsey has this quote that he always says, and it's live like no one else so you can live like no one else. And basically what he's explaining is that you want to really put in the hard work in the beginning so that you can reap the rewards and the benefits of putting in that hard work later on in life. We are living like no one else so that later, when we have paid off our debts and we have achieved the goals that we want to achieve, and we have the savings for the things that we want to do and buy and all of that stuff, we get to live like other people don't get to live, because they're constantly living in this debt cycle while we get to be debt-free. That's the thought process, that's the perspective that we're holding on to for this year. That is why when it comes to our systems of how we do things, it's gonna be intense. And at the first time that we sat down to talk about this, it was intense, and it was one of those things that we're like, this seems excessive, do we really need to do this? But it's absolutely necessary for our home. It's made a difference, it's made an impact, and we're sticking to it. So with that said, weekly budget meetings are an absolute must in this household. Now, what do I mean by weekly budget meetings? We try to do it on the weekend, so either Saturdays, but I really shoot for Sundays. Sunday resets are like my thing. I absolutely live for my Sunday resets, where I get to wake up in the morning and I know that we're not going anywhere except for like the grocery store and maybe other places if we need to at the end of the day to just like run our errands and everything. But it's really just a full home reset. We've got church that we put on, we do our meal prepping, all of our stuff. But the other thing that we include in our Sunday reset, on top of cleaning and organizing, is getting our budget in order. One of the jobs, roles, whatever you want to call it, that I have in this partnership with me and Sammy is that I am in charge of the finances. That's just the way that we have decided things. It's not like the woman is supposed to do it. This is just what we've decided is best because he handles so many other things for us that I get to manage the money. So I am in charge of kind of keeping things in order, making sure that I'm checking up on stuff. So the everydollar app has been super helpful with that because it keeps things efficient. Every Sunday, we go to the breakfast bar and we try to keep the environment in this really like peaceful place because I know that finances is one of the toughest things for couples to have to discuss. We've had some instances where the conversation of money does get tense and tough. So the two things that we've put in place to make sure that we prevent getting into fights is that we create a space, which is the breakfast bar, early in the morning when the kids are still asleep so we don't have screaming going around in the background. And there's something about that environment while we are doing our own things and having a fluid conversation that it doesn't make things super tense where we're like sitting across from the table, like serious, stern, eye to eye type of like thing. It's a little bit more loose because we're in our environment and we've created a space where we just don't have to be so serious about it. So that's one. Two is that if we do, even in that environment, feel like things are getting tense, we can call a truce and a moment to table it and put a pin in it. We pick a day in the following week, as long as it's before Friday, to be able to discuss the things that we need to, but we make sure that every single week we try and get through the whole routine or rhythm or whatever you want to call it of our budget meeting. What our weekly meeting really looks like is just sitting down. I'll go through and look for like double transactions that we have that I might want to bring up to him, any questions that I have that I'm like, hey, our water bill was super high this month. Are there things that we can put into effect to make sure that we're not wasting as much water? Oh yeah, we forgot to turn off the sprinklers and it's been raining, whatever, stuff like that. We'll have those discussions. But when it comes to keeping track of just like every transaction, that's my job that I do on the side. I only discuss the things that are really important that need to be brought up to him. Whether that's keeping track of transactions and asking questions about things that look a little off of like, hey, this looks a little sketch. Should we, dispute this or report it? Or, hey, let's talk about this bill. This was kind of high. Let's make some adjustments. Or the other thing that we'll discuss is things that are coming up, like birthdays, holidays, money we need to be putting aside for certain things, like scheduling maintenance for the cars. We just try and talk about the things that are outside the norm of the monthly routine that we have with our budget setting. So one of the main things that you hear about Financial Peace University is the envelope system. And to be completely honest, it has worked phenomenally for so many people. For us specifically, it is not something that we use for the day-to-day things. I know that we're supposed to like put our money for our groceries in an envelope and then have another envelope for gas and everything. That's his method that he teaches. And I feel like I understand the way that it's supposed to work. It just doesn't work for us. So we use the like paycheck breakdown piece of the upgraded version of everydollar. And I feel like that really helps us keep track of things because we are going through everything week by week. I'm very aware of our spendings. And so I feel like that's my altered version of the envelope system. What we do use the envelope system for is more of like small goals of like trying to save for things, whether that's like trying to buy equipment for the camera or buy things for the house or holiday, birthday gifts and events and stuff like that, or even like annual payments. So like Amazon Prime or DMV registration and things like that. So we have the envelope system in use for things like that. So that way we're not spending that extra money that we should be setting aside every month. And we're not surprised and frantically trying to figure out where to get extra cash from when the time does come because we have put that money aside. So that is how we use the envelope system. And that's kind of just really what works best for us. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to managing our money, everyone has their own budgets of things that they put money aside for, that they feel is necessary for their lifestyle and everything. We're not going to break down what our budget is and the things that we feel necessary to spend our money on. I feel like it's just always been a privacy thing. It's just always been a respect thing. I've had people who have like sent their husbands to ask my husband what he makes, and it's been very intrusive, and that's just a thing that we've set boundaries for. Other people can disagree. I know that there are people out there who share their income and everything, and I don't think that like one is good and the other is bad or wrong. It's just a preference, and that's how we feel about it. Now let's talk about debt. Because of privacy, I'm not going to show you like what our debts are and everything. I will just go on to tell you that everyone has their own set of debts. The biggest thing that's always held us back from really knocking out our debts is the fact that I had cesarean bills every other year. And now that we are done having kids, we're really looking forward to this year because I feel like we'll actually be able to really knock out a lot of our debts and tackle a lot of things without having to worry about another medical bill coming for us the next year. So we're excited about that. Now with the debt snowball, that is a part of the Financial Peace University like method and baby step program. So basically what it is you take your smallest debts and the minimum payment for them, and you are throwing as much extra money as you can at that debt to like wipe it out as quickly as possible. Then you take that minimum payment that you had already planned in your budget every month and you throw that on top of the minimum payment for the next smallest debt. So now you are increasing the amount of money that you are putting towards your debts until you are debt free. That is our goal for the year, is to just take everything that we can before 2023 ends to have cleared all of our debt, because we feel like it is actually realistic this year for us to do that. And basically what we're doing is just using the debt snowball. Now the last thing that I want to talk about is the kids and how they play into all of this. We are big on wanting to teach our kids to understand the value of a dollar. So one of the things that I love about this whole program and everything is that we have access to the other teachings that they have, and one of them is about how to teach your kids about money. Basically what we have done is we have followed the steps of what they have taught, and they have explained to us that you really want to cut the word of allowance, because allowance is just giving them money, and we've recoined it to be commission, because our kids have chores and they're age appropriate for each of them, and we pay them immediately when they're done with the chores, and that is their commission. So we explain it to them that way. And basically what we do is we try to like once a month give them the opportunity to go to a store and spend their money. And we try to make sure the biggest thing is to keep our mouth shut when we go shopping. We want them to be proud of the decisions that they're making. So again, following the teachings that we've got from Dave Ramsey and all the people on his team and everything, that has been a huge thing for us. We have their little banks. I got these from Target. So they're just the little, like you can get them from the kitchen section, the little plastic containers. And I just got a label maker and put Hayden's Bank, Beckham's Bank, and we pay them in quarters. Everything that they have gets paid out from anywhere from 25 cents to about 75 cents. Sometimes for the big things like helping us clean the car or extra chores that we add on top of the things that they are normally required to do, they will get $1 for that. So that's how we go through things with the kids. That's how we're currently teaching them. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. If you have little ones, I'm interested to hear how other people have implemented things, different methods that people have tried. This is the method we're using right now. Here's to 2023, paying off our debts, getting things in order, living like no one else so we can live like no one else. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was insightful as well as inspiring and encouraging. If you are interested in anything else that has to do with finances, budgeting, debt, anything with the kids, leave a comment and let me know what you would want to see more of, and I would love to be able to answer any questions that you have. Make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button, make sure that you are following me on social, and I will see you guys next week.